Hello and welcome to Not So Awesome Review, and today we're looking at the McFarlane Toys Dread Pirate Roberts from The Princess Bride, and yeah, not a movie franchise I actually expected McFarlane to be tackling ever. Not a movie franchise I expected any action figure company to be doing ever, but here we are, and it's cool because it's a great movie. I have not read the book. I've been wanting to pick up, I think there was like a illustrated version or something like that. I've seen a few times at my Barnes & Noble. Been wanting it just to check out, but yeah, this figure is actually pretty good. It's surprisingly good, especially for something that, you know, isn't DC, isn't Spawn. McFarlane definitely did a pretty good job. There are a few gripes, and it's gonna be in the typical area with the head, and you know, of course, we don't have that boot articulation on this figure. I'm just gonna put that out right now because the Batman, the armored one, he had boot articulation, it was great, but I guess not here. Hopefully something that they'll consider more of in the future, especially since he does have actual boots. You think they would have put it there because I believe his big gripe is he doesn't like cutting up the sculpt. The sculpt's already cut where the boot is, so would have made sense to do that. But that's a whole rant for another day. This figure looks amazing. It is in all black, aside from a few silver pieces on the belt, and of course the sheath and sword itself. Skin color, skin tone, it's what you expect from an action figure. It's good, not great. The 5 o'clock shadow on his face could be a little bit better, but I feel like that's something a lot of action figure companies don't do right. My main issue with the head, aside from a little bit of the articulation side, it feels a little small. It feels like it should be maybe just a little bit wider, or something's going on there that throws it off for me. I don't know what it is, but it isn't the likeness. The likeness is pretty good, but it just feels a little bit small, especially when you compare it to one of the other figures in the line, which I will be doing later. I didn't pick up Princess Buttercup yet. I'm hoping to get that soon, but for now we have Pirate Roberts, Wesley, and we have Inigo Montoya, which I'll be doing a review for later, and I'll do a comparison here so you guys can see it anyway. But yeah, like I said, detail wise, the figure does look good. I can't really complain. Let me move the camera up. Yeah, the head on it, like I said, it looks like the actor, but it feels a little bit small. The 5 o'clock shadow, like I said, could be better. It does have kind of like some wrinkling stuff. I don't know what you want to call that, like a little pattern going on in the sleeves. It looks good, and I remember when McFarlane actually first posted these on Instagram, people were, one, thinking it was Zorro, which, I love Zorro. I want a Zorro action figure, but also a little part of me was like, how dare you? But, yeah, I mean, it actually would make a good Zorro base. All you would really have to do is paint the skin tone a little bit. His eyes are blue, as they should be, so you want to paint those brown, and then add a hat and a cape. And yeah, you pretty much got a Zorro there, so I can't really blame people too much for that. Accessory-wise, he does have his sheath, which is attached to him. You can detach it. It's pretty easy. I'm not going to do it on video, but you can do it. Of course, the base that does say... Ooh, the light's a little bit... Oh, my bad. That might help. It does say Princess Bride on the base, which is nice. And he does have his sword, which he can hold in his hand. Pretty good, which is that softer rubber. I'm not a big fan of it because they do tend to bend and stay bent. This one isn't completely straight. The handle looks good. There is an opening right here where it meets at the end so that you can slide it in without actually having to wrap it around it, which is good. It is a tight fit, which, again, is good. Color-wise, it's decent. It's nothing great, nothing horrible either, so good enough. For the sheath, like I said, I'm not going to take it off, but I will show that they did go ahead and pull a Witcher where, yeah, it's not completely covered on the other side. Not as bad with this figure because when he's standing up, you pretty much can't notice it. It is angled back, so his leg kind of covers it. So, not too bad. A little annoying, but... you know, they gotta cut costs somewhere. This figure was $25, which I do feel was a little steep, considering most 25 figure McFarlane figures usually have a Build-A-Figure piece. Don't know what that's about. I know prices go up on figures right now, for at least Hasbro anyway, so don't know if it's because of that, or the license, or what, but yeah, I do feel like this should have been more of a $20 figure. I feel like we should have gotten a Wesley head, just because I don't know why we didn't get that. And before I go on to articulation, I do feel, or I do wish he came with an extra sword holding hand for his left hand, because As you know, in the movie, he does switch hands at one point, starts fighting with the left, then switches to his right because he's right-handed. And it would have been a nice touch to have that there. And of course, again, the Wesley head. So those are my complaints. I want to get them out there right now. But otherwise, the figure is pretty good. I actually really do like it. It'll probably be sitting on like my bookshelf because I feel like that's a good place for it. But head articulation, let's go with there. Can't really look up too much. It's actually not too bad. Looking down, it's not the greatest. You can pivot side to side right there, which is alright, and can look left and right. Arm can go up that much, which is good. Down, rotate all the way around. Does have that upper arm rotation right there, so you can move it. Doesn't go all the way around. Maybe it will, but it's really tight, so you know, it goes where it needs to go, which is fine with me. The elbows, I think, were done great because it is single jointed. It doesn't do quite 90, but it's good enough for me, and it doesn't look bad when it's bent. I mean, there's a little bit of an opening there, but I think that's good enough for the figure. Of course, he does have his up or forward and back right here, but you can rotate it to have his up and down. Though, because of the way the glove is, he can't really shift his hand all the way up, but you can shift down. If I can move this right again. See if I can get the peg in a good position so it's easier to see. Right there. The arm goes down that much. Again, doesn't shift up that much. If you wanted to cut a little bit of the glove, you could. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but that option is there. He does have his diaphragm that can go back and forward, barely any, side to side, barely any, left and right a good amount. But yeah, that could definitely be better. Don't know if that can be improved with one of the mods a lot of people do, but something to keep in mind right there. Leg wise, can kick forward that good, that much back. His joints are a little tight, which is why I'm like kind of moving him back and forth from the camera, but knee. And then, of course, he does have his ankle that goes up and down. You can rotate the joint to do side and side, and he does have that toe hinge right there. So overall, you know, if you've gotten a McFarlane figure, you basically know what to expect here. It's not a bad figure articulation-wise. Okay, so now that I got him back on his space, just because it's a little bit easier for him to stand here, let's do a comparison with Inigo Montoya right there. And you can see that Inigo Montoya's head is definitely bigger. I mean, the actor's face shape is longer, but they do look good together. But again, Wesley's head just feels a little bit small. I mean, it's not, but it is. I don't know. There's something off about it. Let me know if you see it. I think his face for Inigo Montoya is like spot on. Of course, the color in the skin tone could be like a little bit more, I don't want to say shaded, but you know, a little bit more skin tone. I don't know. Like it's not 100% perfect, but I mean, it is such a good face. This is probably the best face that McFarlane's done since they started this kind of more articulated line that isn't an animated character. I think they did do an animated character that came out good. I don't remember who. Maybe I'm making that up in my head because I'm going through like Harley Quinn's head looked weird. Superman's head wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. Batman's head, like the eyes were in too deep. Maybe I'm thinking of some monsters or something. I don't know. Yeah, I know he's done some good faces, but when it comes to like humans, you know, they're always a little bit off. There's something not great about it, but Inigo Montoya looks amazing. I know Buttercup looks amazing because I did see her. Wesley, missing it just by a little bit, but still really good. And again, these figures do look good together, and we'll be getting to a review of him tomorrow, hopefully. Just knocked him over, but yeah, so aside from that, I did want to do a comparison with a couple of the Witcher figures that, you know, we have here. Geralt and Ciri, if I can find place right there. And yeah, they honestly look good together here. I actually, you know, they have kind of the same theme, I guess, medieval-ish theme going on. So if you want to mix and match these figures with those, I think it actually works out really well. I like it. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say other than, where did Geralt's other sword go? I have no idea. I think I gave it to somebody. Did I give it? I thought I gave it to her. I don't know where it is. But yeah, these figures, let's actually just throw Mr. Montoya here back in the mix. Yeah, that looks good, in my opinion, really good. Let's just turn down the brightness. I like it. I know it's mix and matching, but I think McFarlane's got the medieval aesthetic pretty much down. Her face has been kind of modified. I did touch it up a little bit because I did not like the stock face. So, in case anyone is wondering why it looks a bit different, but they got the medieval thing down. I said it once and I'll say it again. I really hope they get the license for Lord of the Rings. Those Diamond Select figures, they look way too fragile. I kind of want something that's gonna stand up and, not break when you're moving it around and everything. So, if they get like a Lord of the Rings license and you can mix and match all these things together, that would be amazing. But that's just me on this. So, yeah, now that we've got a good look at all of that, we can just move on to the end here and finish up with a few final thoughts here. That the figure, again, the figure aesthetic wise looks good. Posability is great. He has that McFarlane articulation, so don't expect, the best range, but it's not the worst. He could be a little bit better, but not the worst. I will say Inigo Montoya's articulation is better than his, in case anyone's wondering right now. But yeah, again, you can get him into some decent enough poses. So yeah, I would recommend him if you're a fan of the movie, the novel. If you have somebody who's a fan of it, definitely pick it up for them because I think it's a cool thing to add onto your shelf. It's a cool like little gift. I don't know how big they'll do, with the bigger, I guess, action figure community because I don't know. It is like a good movie. It's become one of those like cult classic things going on there, but at the same time, I don't know. Just seems a little bit weird. But then again, people love buying everything they see blindly, so who knows? But yeah, my recommendation is, yeah, I like it. I think he's a little bit on the expensive side. I think he's $4 too much, but I'm not regretting buying it. So take that as you will. And yeah, not really much else to say here other than I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Like I said, Inigo Montoya's review will hopefully be up tomorrow. Hope if not, no later than Wednesday. And maybe Princess Buttercup if I get her later this week. But yeah, anyways, thank you all for watching. Sorry if every time I talk I stumble my words. It just happens every time I start recording. I don't know why. It just happens. My dog is snoring, so I should go. But yeah, thank you for bearing with me with the language. Words are hard sometimes. But anyways, once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.